when he opened his wings to fly on by to the beat of a silent drum that is kicking me till I'm numb. Oh.
Welcome to VR Zone Reviews. This time it's a showdown amongst the top 3 options today when it comes to mid-tier smartphones. Right off the bat, the build on all 3 devices are phenomenal. With attractive glass backs and solid feel in the hand, these 3 contenders could easily pass off as top-tier 2018 smartphones. Flipped over, we begin to see the differences. The Oppo and Huawei have notches, while the Samsung goes for a more standard 2017 design. The Samsung and Oppo both have AMOLED displays, though the Oppo edges the Samsung out in terms of viewing angles and also in terms of brightness. The Huawei's LCD display loses out in both areas, but its lower brightness helps out in power efficiency in some use cases. In terms of color temperature, the Samsung appears warmer, while the Huawei's display is cooler. This, however, can be tweaked in the settings. But unlike the Oppo, the Huawei also features an option to cancel the notch by blackening the pixels on either side of it. Performance-wise, all 3 phones feature octa-core processors with the potential to deliver the best performance for their cost. Under normal gaming applications, all 3 phones were great performers, even with the latest and most demanding titles on the App Store. Sensors work brilliantly, displays ran smoothly with no tearing even at the highest settings. Games like Asphalt, Brawl Stars and PUBG ran effortlessly across all 3 devices, which bears testament to how far mobile technology has come today. We ran 3D Mark, which helps test for graphics performance. All 3 phones ran slightly slower than their flagship equivalents. But for most gaming applications, the Samsung should theoretically outperform its competitors, but Huawei leads in titles like Vainglory and other upcoming 3D titles designed for Vulkan. It is worth noting that the Huawei Nova 3i has a GPU turbo feature in store, pending an over-the-air update, which we were unable to test during the review. Of course, these are just benchmark figures, and in real life, the respectable graphics processing on the phones allowed even the most demanding games to be played without a hitch. Performance in terms of multitasking and productivity on these 3 devices are pretty much tied, especially when considering both CPU and overall performance. Photography is one of the most important deciding factors when it comes to smartphones these days. With technology trickling down to the mid-tier level, flagship features like AR lenses, portrait mode bokeh, and dual cameras can now be had at an affordable price. We found the Huawei Nova 3i to be the best all-round performer here, leading the pack with dual cameras both front and rear. Coupled with their powerful AI scene recognition, colors look natural and vivid, and settings adapted to different scenes almost instantly. The Oppo performed well, both in low-light conditions and for selfies, with their great skin smoothing algorithm. The Samsung Galaxy A8 Star boasts a whopping 24-megapixel camera both on the front and on the rear, paired with a 16-megapixel lens, but we didn't like the saturated rendition of the A8 Star, which at times looked more like HDR photos. All in, these phones represent the best mid-tier smartphone purchases in 2018. The prices, however, tell a very different story. The Samsung and Oppo are similarly priced at around 750 Singapore dollars, but the Huawei Nova 3i retails at just half the price. Which phone would you get? The choice is clear. I'm Ian, and thanks for watching VR Zone Reviews. See you in the next one.